Estate with another exciting real estate update. As always, we'll start with a joke. Do you have one?
I have one. Yeah, I have
good.
one. Yeah.
Good. We missed you last week.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Well, I was out walking and a woman walked by me and said, "No mask." And I said, "No panties either." That shut her up.
I'll bet it did. Wow. It was a little risque. Okay. Once you understand why the pizza is made round, packed in a square box, and cut into triangles, you will then begin to understand women.
There you go.
See, if you can figure that one out,
anyway?
You could probably start
Probably
learning how to understand women. I don't think we'll ever understand
what
women.
is that all about anyway?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Moving on.
Yeah, this week in history. 2001, 4 hijacked airliners hit U.S. targets September 11th, killing more than 3,000. Not the high point we wanted to start with.
Not the high point, but it is Patriots Day tomorrow.
Patriots Day tomorrow, so let's commemorate those that were lost.
Absolutely. Yep, 2001.
Yep. 1998, Mark McGwire hits home run number 62 on September 8th, breaking a 37-year-old record.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I, for one, am a diehard, and I do not accept that record.
Right.
And I believe it still belongs to Roger Maris at 61, and I still think Hank Aaron at 756 for a career is the career record holder. I don't buy Barry Bonds' record, and I don't either one of Barry Bonds' records, and I don't buy this Mark McGwire because it's the steroid era, and it doesn't count.
Right.
Just my personal biased opinion.
Well, thank you for that.
You're welcome. 1979, the Entertainment Sports Program Network, ESPN, debuts.
Entertainment Sports Program Network. I guess I just never knew what that stood for.
Yeah.
ESPN.
ESPN makes perfect sense. Huh. Yeah, it's been a hit. It's just
79,
go-to for sports since the day it was introduced.
It was that old either. Interesting.
1963, after 6 seasons, the last episode of Leave It to Beaver airs. I didn't realize it only went 6 seasons. I was thinking it was like one of those.
I love that show.
I know.
It was a really good show. Really good.
I guess the boys got too big and they got to be kind of.
Yeah.
Okay. 1927, Philo Farnsworth transmits the first TV pictures. 1927.
Farnsworth.
Yep. So those
we owe it all to him.
Yeah. 1913, the Lincoln Highway, America's first coast-to-coast paved road, opens September 10th. 1913.
That didn't turn into the Route 66 or anything, did it?
No, because the Route 66 only goes, I think it starts in Chicago
to California, right?
To California, right. So, yeah.
I guess it's not coast to
coast. Coast to coast, yeah. And 1565, America's oldest city, St. Augustine, Florida, is established by the Spanish. That makes sense when you say it was established by the Spanish.
But Florida wasn't a state yet, though, right?
Well, but it was still an American city. Doesn't have to be a state.
I guess so.
American city. So, who knew?
There you go. Florida.
One more, went back a little bit for some history. A little earlier, Thurgood Marshall is confirmed August 30 as the first black Supreme Court justice.
What year? I'm sorry.
That was 1965.
65, Thurgood Marshall.
Yep.
Yeah.
And 1888, on September 4th, George Eastman patents roll film under the name Kodak. Still big
Eastman
today.
Kodak. It used to be, I think it was called Eastman Kodak.
Right, Eastman Kodak. Yep. And then in 1984, the signing of the Treaty of Paris ends the U.S. Revolutionary War.
1784.
Yeah, 1784.
U.S.
What'd I say, 1984?
I think you did, yeah.
I didn't miss it by much, a couple hundred years.
The Revolutionary War.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
All right, on to some real estate news. For the week, unemployment drops as expected. New filings for jobless claims totaled 881,000 last week, lower than the estimate of 950.
Oof,
so
okay.
beat the estimate.
Okay.
Number reflects an improving labor market and a change in methodology from the Labor Department. So not sure how much which of those played more into it. We'll see when we look at next week's numbers. So.
Yep.
Okay, July prices boom, not a surprise. Been talking about that for months. Home prices grew 5.5% in the month of July. Fastest rate in nearly 2 years.
We had some time to make up, though. We had like 6 months of the year to make up for, essentially 4 months, but essentially 6 months.
Well, keep in mind, we've been weathering the storm. We had a 43-day drop in showings, about a 70% drop, and everything kind of just went stalled for a little bit, and then it picked right back up. So it was really only 43 days, so it doesn't surprise me.
Okay.
Strong purchase demand bolstered by falling mortgage rates drove upward price pressure. So we got the perfect storm going on. The National Association of Home Builders are going to be a big part of continuing to try to make up for this shortage of inventory that we're dealing with. In the second quarter index shows housing weathered the pandemic storm with single family construction increasing by 10.6%. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, home builders.
We need it.
Yep.
We need that inventory.
And then we got a little good news, bad news. Thanks to historically low mortgage rates, a home buyer with a $2,500 monthly housing budget can afford a home priced $33,250 higher.
Right.
Yay, great news. But prices went up 5.5% in July, the largest rise in more than 2 years. The increase effectively cancels out the 6.9% bump in purchasing power.
Oops.
Well, that's from, look at that, they matched up. That doesn't happen very often because the July price boom was 5.5% in July, and that was from Mortgage News Daily. And that last segment was from Redfin, and they both agreed 5.5%. That rarely happens in the news. We usually get multiple different numbers. Coronavirus talks. The latest Republican proposal for pandemic relief likely won't get past the Democratic-led House, and I just saw an article or a news post that it did not. So
stalled out.
They were calling that the skinny package that they were trying to get through. Trying to meet in the middle, but it's still they just can't get over how much to put into it, and the Democrats definitely want aid for state and local governments and additional assistance, and the Republicans are not agreeing. So we're at a bit of a standstill there, but hopefully they keep working at it, and we can get through that and come up with something that everybody will agree on.
And keep pushing through it so we can all recover as well.
Okay. In other news, Millennial Madness. I like the title of that one. Millennials are emerging as a driving force in the U.S. housing market's recovery, driven by low interest rates and a desire for more space. First-time buyers accounted for 34% of sales in July.
Wow, 34%.
That's up from July 2019. Recent data shows 20% of these buyers used gifts from family or friends to help with down payments.
Yeah.
Bigger homes, and that's been a trend for a while. We saw a little bit of flattening, but now we're seeing it kind of going the same direction again, but I think for a different reason.
Yeah.
Growth in the size of homes people are buying has accelerated, and the average home sold in August now 3.7% larger than the typical home sold a year earlier.
Well, we had, during the housing boom, the houses were getting larger.
Larger, yep.
And then when the crash came, they got smaller again. And now they're getting bigger, but different reasons. We're staying home more. We're doing more in our homes. We're homeschooling. All these things.
And prior to the millennials, the baby boomers were the biggest generation, and they were retiring and they were buying homes, and they like single family, downsized, a little bit smaller.
Right. That's
So
true.
now I think what's fueling the growth again, in my opinion, is probably multi-gen. We're having more and more kids staying at home longer. We're having parents moving in, and
Well, and our millennials are having children now, too. So we're finally to that point where they're ready to grow their families. So
well, that's true too.
looking for bigger
Yeah,
houses.
family, just the family dynamics getting a little bit
Yeah.
larger. But yeah,
But absolutely,
So-
multi-gen. We kind of talked about that in the last couple of weeks.
yeah, that's something that kind of flies under the radar. I don't think people realize how big that segment is. I mean, home builders are embracing it. Think of how many builders specifically build a multi-gen separate apartment attached product.
Right.
Yeah, so
Multi-gen is definitely back. We kind of saw it teeter out, and then now it's coming back. And then bigger garages.
yes,
Bigger
trucks
garages.
are getting taller.
Trucks and
So-
RVs. People are getting RVs because they're not traveling internationally
Yes,
as much.
the
We're
RV
driving
gate
all
with room
over.
on the side of the house to put the RV and HOAs that are friendly to allowing you to see over the wall, and it's okay if there's an RV parked there.
I don't know if the HOAs have caught up yet.
Well, some of them. We've got some that are
Good.
Woodside here up at the Meadows. They embrace the RV, and Pleasant Valley for
That's
sure.
good. Yeah.
So we're seeing some changes to adapt to changes in people's lifestyle. So
Yeah.
we're seeing a lot more RV gates side on the property on the side of the house to accommodate those. Much longer garages. Trucks are getting longer and definitely taller. They seem to be getting jacked up and bigger and bigger. So the 8 foot, it's almost a norm to have an 8 foot garage door, but we're seeing even larger now and more room once you're in the garage too. So yeah, houses are changing to match demand.
Yeah.
We talked about the refi fee delayed, the money grab by so Freddie
fee
Mac
that we're
and,
watching.
and Fannie Mae. It's been postponed till December 1st, and that's still currently the situation, but we hope they'll just drop it completely.
Yeah.
0.5% on any refi. Now, this doesn't count if you're going out and getting a new mortgage, but on a refi, they're going to ding you for 0.5%.
Feels like a penalty a little bit.
Yeah,
It's meant to, or they say it's meant to sort of prop up the mortgage industry, right? That's
well,
what
they say it's because of the
Fannie Freddie are saying.
dangerous times that we're in, the unstable financial, but I don't buy that for real estate because real estate is solid as a rock right now. So that it just,
Investment in real estate is solid.
yeah,
So
it doesn't fly in my opinion.
yeah.
However, one good piece of this, if your balance is under $125,000, so if you've paid it down and you're only doing $125,000 or less, even if they do it in December, it doesn't apply to you. So just something to keep in mind if you're deciding on a refi.
Okay.
If you can keep it under $125,000, you're not going to have to pay that extra 0.5.
All right.
All right, so that covers that segment. Now, I did have a couple of articles real quick. Home buyer traffic is on the rise, and this is typically the time where we see a little bit of a slowdown. And as we've been talking about for months, this is not your typical year.
No.
And we're seeing everything kind of push through into the summer, and now we're starting to go into the fall, and things are still pretty hot. And homes, they're priced right, they show well, they're still gone. They're
Right.
not sitting on the market. So Showing Time is a app that we use for arranging showings for our sellers, and it's all electronic, done online on your phone.
Really
and
great app.
yeah, very secure. Enables us to see who's entering the home, when, and who wants to go see it. And so it's being embraced and pretty much is the norm here in Arizona. And it appears from this article that everybody else across the nation is also using it pretty extensively. So homebuyer traffic jumped again in July, recording a 60.7% year-over-year increase in nationwide showing activity.
Wow. 60.7%.
That's pretty high. I got to think that part of that has to do with embracing the
more
app
people
more,
are
and the app is
using
getting
the
used
app.
more. But still, I don't doubt that the number of showings are up substantially. I just don't know if it's. Last year was a record year of sales, so I find it hard to believe that showings are up 60.7%.
I would buy into that number if they were saying it's 60% increase since March, right?
Well, yeah, for sure. Yeah,
There wasn't nearly as many showings in March because we were
we were kind of shut down.
Touch each other's houses.
Yeah, numbers are out the door for that period of time.
Right. So
anyway. Yeah, so 60% more buyers are setting appointments to see homes than there were at the same time last year.
Showing time is an excellent program to use. It allows the seller to approve showings via text message really easily and quickly from their phone, or they can suggest a different time for the agent to come. Or
right. Yeah, it puts the seller in control.
It's really great.
Control. And I like the CBS code feature. Where it adds additional security, so even if an agent accidentally goes to the wrong house or
which
happens, you just turn on the wrong street and you're in a hurry and you pull up to a sign.
Yeah, and the number's the same, but you're on the wrong street.
Yeah,
or
that happens in Arizona a lot.
You look at the number wrong and go in, and that's not the right house.
Yeah, so it will require, once the realtor accesses the lockbox, it will require an additional code that only gets given out once an appointment is approved.
Right.
And if they don't have that code, they can't access the lockbox.
Right.
So just an additional layer of protection for the seller, which I really like. Okay, a tale of two markets, dream homes and looming evictions. So there's been a lot of concern that with the unemployment, that there could be a major.
We're hearing a lot of people ask, well, I'm going to wait for foreclosures.
Yeah,
I guess I'm thinking of foreclosures.
We're going to have 8 million foreclosures, and well, that's just not reality. That's not going to happen. So, however, there, legitimately, there is a lot of people unemployed. There are some protections in place, but we are going to have a problem for renters. I think there's definitely going to be some concern that we have to address for renters, not so much as the unemployed. I think will be able to survive that. Hopefully, most of them will be able to survive that.
It's not really a moratorium right now on evictions, right? It is a moratorium.
Yeah, and that's where everybody's concerned, but they're rolling rentals in with. When you think unemployment, you think every one of those unemployed people own a home. Well, that's not the case. The percentage is pretty small of actually homeowner versus rental. So, at any rate, divide is growing between the haves and the have-nots in real estate. While the housing market sees a frenzied number of home shoppers eager to purchase and move into a larger home, the other side of the market is facing job losses and fears of losing their current home. Unemployment rate was 8.4% in August. So obviously pretty high still. Many Americans are still struggling to buy a home or afford rent. Another 10 million jobs are needed to get the economy back to pre-pandemic conditions, says Lawrence Yoon, chief economist of the National Association of Realtors. So,
smart guy, that Lawrence.
Yeah, he's been around with National Association of Realtors for a long time, so he's a great source of information. Up to 40 million Americans could possibly be at risk of eviction by the end of the year. So that's a lot of renters. Eviction and foreclosure moratoriums that stretch to the end of the year may be postponing the inevitable, housing analysts say. We're only delaying this huge buildup in rental debt and the precursor to eviction. So we do have a problem on the horizon that we probably have to figure out, and hopefully our legislators are looking at it and trying to figure out what we're going to do to try to get everybody through it, the homeowner and the landlord and the renters. Because you got to look at both sides of it.
We have tenants that can't make the rent because they're unemployed or not as full-time employment again yet. and so they can't pay their rents. But then we also have landlords that can't pay their mortgages.
Right, they have
because
expenses
of-
and
yeah, because they
holding,
don't
so
have
yeah,
rent coming in. So
gotta look at both sides of it.
yep.
But as millions of renters fear losing their homes, the housing market also shows the opposite end of the spectrum as buyers with secure paying jobs flood the market. Housing market has emerged as one of the drivers of the economic recovery. A vibrant housing market has added 27,700 construction workers
There you
and
go.
trade specialists.
That's part of it that will help anyway. Help
Yeah.
get things going.
And the buyers with high-paying jobs are rushing to take advantage of record low mortgage
They are.
rates again, and possibly even purchase larger homes during the pandemic. So,
And again, we've said this before as well, is that for every home purchase, it affects 7 different pieces of the economy.
right,
So it supports the economy.
yeah,
So that's good.
multiple ways.
Mm-hmm.
This is interesting. The median national price for an existing home in July was $304,100. That's the first time ever surpassing $300,000,
Wow.
according to the National Association of Realtors. So,
Yeah, I think it's hung out around
quite a milestone.
280 for a long time.
Yeah.
Here in Arizona, higher, but yeah.
Yeah, that's a national number, so obviously it's going to fluctuate from
Right.
region to region. Okay, looking at interest rates, still beautiful numbers. 30-year, 2.906. 15-year, 2.462. The
Wow.
VA is holding steady at, yeah, that's a good number, 2.674 on a VA.
Yeah, I think we heard somebody talking about a refinance at 2.6 this
Right.
week. Yeah.
Yep. So, do you have a Julia's seller tip of the week
I
for
do have a
us
seller's tip.
this week?
I do.
Excellent.
Talking about cramped backyards, how to make them appear larger. So backyard spaces become a premium for buyers during the pandemic. Obviously, if we're trapped at home, we're wanting to make the most out of our backyards. So home buyers are definitely looking at that when they look at your home. So what can you do? You can divide a larger space, make it double purposed.
That sounds counterproductive, like when you're on the inside trying to make a home look bigger,
Right,
you open it up and don't divide it.
right. Creating a space within a space makes it seem larger
Okay, multiple
because it gives you
spaces.
separate
Okay.
experiences.
Got it.
Right, so
Okay.
you have your grass area over here, pool area here,
Got it.
yeah,
Okay.
fire pit.
Makes sense.
So, so maybe like a small wood pergola, short trellises, arbors, those type of things to separate those areas. Maybe a table where you might eat, and then lounge chairs for the pool area. So,
Okay.
another thing is privacy, creating privacy in the backyard.
That's huge.
Peaceful space is always more roomier. Use larger plants to cozy up the space and to make it more private. And don't forget to go vertical with your decor in your backyard. Again, you're going to make it feel a little more lush if you're planting up the walls, putting pots with tall plants next to the fences and railings. Also adding vines. Right now, getting things to grow in Arizona is a little hard.
We got a little weather break, though. I can feel it coming.
Oh, it feels so good this morning. So, yeah, those are some good seller tips to make the most out of your backyard and make it feel a little less cramped.
In Arizona, it's all about the outdoor living space, so
It
you
is,
definitely want
yeah. We're coming out of our bad period
Yeah.
of weather, so we're ready for the fall, ready for good mornings. We still will get
We
warm
still have some
temperatures.
triple digit days ahead of us, but we can see the light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah.
So.
But when we got up this morning, it was 69 degrees.
Oh, It was so nice.
Not quite ready for 69. 69 is a little chilly for
Oh,
me.
come on. Really? All day long, baby. Bring it on. All day long. 69. Really?
I had to wear a zip up on my walk.
Oh my gosh, you're so thin-blooded.
That's true.
Okay, we'll wrap up with inventory. Valley-wide, we had crept above 8,000. Unfortunately, we've slipped back. We're at 7990, just under 8,000 homes. So inventory dropped about 300. Estancia Village, still extremely low. We have 15 homes. Wah, wah, wah.
Where do we want that valley number to be?
Well,
What
we
would
were
put us at a
looking
balanced
last year
market?
at 19,000, you know, so I don't,
Right, I forgot about that.
I think it'll be a long time coming. We have so many people coming into the valley and we just need so many homes, so I don't think we're going to have that experience for a long, long time. So Vistancia Village, 15 homes, ranging in price from $283,000 to $750,000.
Okay. That's 750. Call me about that one.
Yeah, that's an interesting home.
And there's reasons, not just the price tag, but there's reasons. It's a nice large home for really a very good price. So anyway.
Blackstone Country Club, they have 15 homes available, range in price of $539,470 up to $1,980,000. Give me a buzz on that $1,980,000. I'll be happy to set up a showing for you.
Help you out with that, yeah.
Yeah. Trilogy at Vistancia, still hovering pretty low, 38. I think we got up to 40 last week, back down to 38.
Yeah, okay.
We're going to start, as the weather does cool off, we're going to start seeing more people showing up. So we definitely need more homes out in Trilogy at Vistancia. So if you're thinking about selling your home, Trilogy at Vistancia, now's the time to give us a call.
A lot of second home buyers there, so they'll come as winter cools, obviously. Now they will look in the village if there's a single level possibly that would make a good second home as well, but 15 homes,
it's not much to look at.
Not much to supplement with,
So your price ranges of those 38 in Trilogy at Vistancia, $315,000 on the low end and $725,000 on the high end. We had a couple $1 million homes there. They dropped off. Did not see them under contract, so they may have just taken them off for a little while. Maybe we'll see them come up again. Sun City Grand, still hovering at 80. And the price range there, $245,000 on the low end and $675,000. So that is all we have for you for this week. Any parting words of wisdom?
Parting words. For more seller tips, we're doing a seller tips series on Instagram at Phoenix Luxury Homes Sold. So it's abbreviated PHX Luxury Homes Sold at Instagram, or on Instagram. So follow us there for more seller tips.
Join us there, and we will see you again next week.
See you soon.
Thanks for watching. I should say Julia's seller tip.
Several living large in a small backyard footprint.
About that. Good afternoon. It's Robert and Julia Miller with another. Oops, I forgot to say who we work for.
Oh, you can't see it.
I see I'm not wearing it on the shirt, so I forgot. That's why I have it on the shirt, so I remember who I work for, or I'll forget.
Am I shorter this week than I was last week? What's going on?
You couldn't get any shorter. Come on.
You like that?
Yeah, good coverage in the back. And I don't want to look like a rookie out there, though. Maybe we should kind of ball them up a little bit. And
you don't want them to look new?
Yeah, it makes you look like you don't know what you're doing. And
I don't know what I'm doing.
I know, but you don't want to look like it.
We look pretty professional with these.
You look
though,
cute.
Really.
Wow. That looks really good on you.
I like it.
Yeah, it's not too big, right?
I tightened it a little.
Oh yeah, you got a tightener on there. Okay.
Yeah, you've got a tightener on yours too.
Just adorable.
If you want.
Yeah, I think
Knee
we're ready.
pads, gloves, little
There's your snips.
snippies.
You want green or black? You have your choice.
These look like the ones I use out in the yard.
Okay.
What else? Oh yeah, knee
Good.
pads.
Yeah,
Of
very
course.
important knee pads.
One size fits all. One size fits okay. Headlamps, I guess.
yeah.
If
We gotta
we're
make sure
in the
that-
morning.
We're gonna make sure these are gonna fit on the hats. I think they will. We'll try them out just to make sure.
Okay.
All right, we're ready to go harvest grapes. Make some wine.